Ren Sharp, and originally when I wanted to do this video, I had friends that offered to help me, but due to scheduling issues, they are not here. Life gets in the way extremely quickly and all the time. I thought long and hard on if I should scrap this video idea and do something completely new because of my scheduling problems and my friends' schedule problems. But I think it's important to show that even when life goes astray, it doesn't mean you have to throw everything away and come up with a new plan. You just have to know how to improvise and what programs there are to help you. And Ready to Work is the program that I feel the most passionate about. It's located at West Kentucky Technical Community College. West Kentucky Technical Community College. There we go. Or WKCTC, which is how I will be referring to it, because clearly its government name is much too long. But for me, I feel so strongly about the program because it was made for people like me. It focuses on people who are from low-income families and people who are constantly in worry about college or who are young parents. And while I myself am not a young parent, it's something I grew up around a lot. The first thing I want to talk about is how great of a system it is to get people jobs. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people tell me that they are passionate about art, but instead will pursue accounting or law or teaching because they don't believe that there is a place or a job using those art degrees and those art degrees, or really a bunch of different degrees. I will have to look partly at my paper to read statistics because numbers aren't my thing, and neither are acronyms apparently. But I have the 5 top or lowest, I guess, bottom 5 degrees that do not have jobs, whether it's because people are not being hired with the degree or they're not able to find where they would be able to use the degree. These all have more than a 50% unemployment rate, all 5 of these degrees, such as criminal justice, which has a 67.2%, performing arts with a 62.3%, medical technician 57.9%, anthropology with a 55.9%, and liberal arts with a 56.5%. All of these degrees are absolutely necessary in society, but it can feel disappointing and overwhelming to go to school for these degrees when you hear the unemployment rate is so high. But that doesn't mean you have to give up that degree. Ready to Work will put students with different jobs and companies that can give them internships, a stable position, a starting position, and also connections with people in the field. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term, if you know somebody, you know everybody. Connections are everything. And the fact that WKCTC can give these connections to brand new out of college students eases so much of that financial fear. To know that your college degree won't be useless, that it is important, and that it's absolutely necessary is so comforting. Because you know going to college is not a waste. You know it will give you financial gain in the end. And it also, it's a proven fact that, college degrees end up leading to higher paying jobs and recurring students in academic fields. So being able to relieve that financial pressure and burden on students to give kids the chance to come back and to make those higher paying jobs using a degree is one of the best things about the Ready to Work program. It also gives kids the opportunity to get a high school degree, not even college, not even a job, a high school degree. My grandma did not have a high school degree. She had to get a GED, and often I remember her telling me how awful the test was. It was expensive. She had to study she had to study on her own when she had a kid and a husband and a house payment and a job, and she was going through chemo. She was a fighter till the end, and often for her, she put education to the side because she had to, not because of a choice. So the fact that this is a program that allows people to put education first without fear is amazing. Not only does it help teach kids what's on the test and go over the curriculum, it allows people to help pay for the test because the tests are expensive. You do have to pay. A lot of people were very confused when I said that. You have to pay for the test. It's not free. And also, it lets you know when and where these tests are being taken. And luckily for me, I don't have any kids. I just have my puppy, who is really, really bad, as you guys can see. And she is a handful. I can't imagine being 20, 25, 30 years old trying to get a high school degree for the first time with actual kids, actual marriage, actual husband, real situations, having to deal with medical expenses, food, bills, housing, and on top of that, getting a high school degree. I wouldn't know how to do it. And not everyone chooses to drop out of high school. Some people are forcefully removed, not even because of behavior, but I know kids who they had too many medical problems and the school wasn't able to accommodate them, and they truly could not finish high school. They didn't have the credits, they didn't have the attendance. And for them, what do? No one can control medical expenses and when they will pop up. No one can control medical issues or when they will pop up. So the fact that this school not only cares enough to get people to a college degree and a job, but they care to take steps back and get people that high school degree. And also, it helps kids, not even kids, but anyone of any age, get that high school degree and then immediately be able to join college. So they can get their GED or any equivalent of a high school diploma and then immediately turn around and get their college degree and get the job that they need. All in one place. All with the same people that you can know and trust over time. And honestly, I talk to these people and they are very kind and they are very considerate. They're not judgy. They are open to anyone. And that's what you need when dealing with people with issues, because a lot of these people who use this program didn't make poor decisions, but had difficulties in life that were unavoidable. Like having a kid. Honestly, I talked about how fortunate I am to not have a kid, that I just have a really bad puppy. But I do have a goddaughter. And I have this friend who he told me I could tell his story, but asked me not to release his name fully. So for the sake of this, we're going to call him Jay. Jay had a daughter at 11 years old, and he made me the godmother at 11 years old. We have talked and talked and talked about college. Jay didn't believe that there was a place for him in school because he had a kid and he spent a lot of money with her. And he didn't know how he was going to pay for school and tuition, and how he was going to pay for his daughter and just everyday life. Kids are expensive. I believe here, it takes, in Kentucky, which is one of the lowest cost of living states in the country, it still takes $18,588 annually to raise a kid. That would mean if after 18 years you just decide you don't want to be a parent anymore and you give up, you would be paying $34,584. after 18 years. How do you do that and tuition? Like, how can you understand? And that's for the basic necessities. That is the, I'm not going to jail for neglect, but that's all I have in me level of income. Or expense, I guess. I don't know how you can know that that's the number and see how much you spend annually and still be able to want tuition and know that you're going to have to pay for extra childcare. And that was Jay's biggest problem, is he didn't know either. But lucky for him, we actually looked into the work program back when we were still 16 and 17 years old. And we found out that Ready to Work offers childcare. So not only could Jay come to school and actually focus on his studies, he could also be able to know that his kid is safe. He knew he had reliable childcare services and that they were trusted adults with licenses. And, you saw that. This dog is distraction enough. Can you imagine being a student, having a kid, and trying to do schoolwork? Especially when they're not babies anymore. You can't just lay them down to sleep. His daughter is in 3rd, almost 4th grade maybe. Sounds awful, I should know that. But she got held back, so I'm not sure which one we're at now. Don't shade me. But she's in 4th grade. She's definitely in 4th grade. She has to be entertained. She has to have help with homework. She has to have attention. And he wouldn't be able to give it to her with classes, but he is able to give it to her with the program. Now, he's no longer enrolled in WKCTC, and he never got his degree, but it was due to other life circumstances. But he does say over and over that WKCTC's Ready to Work program was one of the best ones out there. That it actually allowed students to find a place to be. It was somewhere that they fit. And somewhere that they could go when things got hard. And I don't want this video to come off as insincere or that I was just reading off a script. I'm extremely passionate about the program, and I truly believe it's one of the best programs that has been made for students. Because no matter what your economical background is, no matter what your life choices were, no matter what life threw at you, they have a place for you. And I really encourage anyone who feels overwhelmed in their lives, whether it's with personal matters or school-related matters, to reach out to Ready to Work to see if they have a place for them. They also have a very easy to use and read website. Their website is very minimal and to the point. So I believe that if I didn't have anything that you might have needed, their website absolutely will. Thank you for listening to my Ready to Work program video. I hope that it inspired you to reach out.